Welcome back. 2018 was a wild ride, from the blue wave that turned control of the House to the confirmation hearings for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. There was never a dull moment. NBC's chief White House correspondent Hallie Jackson looks back at 10 of the biggest political stories of the year.
One of the 10 biggest stories of 2018 happened just 6 weeks into it.
Students could be seen filing out of the building.
The Parkland shooting sparked a student movement and the March for Our Lives.
They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS!
After that, a ban on bump stocks and a bill closing loopholes in the federal background check system. Small steps, but to critics, not enough. As the gun debate faded from headlines, the trade war ramped up.
We will have a 25% tariff on foreign steel.
President Trump triggering a tariff tit for tat and new fears for farmers in states he won.
The glass is pretty cloudy right now.
At the border, anger boiled over, with the nation horrified by images of migrant children separated from their parents.
It's sickening, honestly, to see little kids, if they say 4 years old is the youngest, that are separated from their parents.
The president forced to backtrack on family separations, but ahead of the midterms, barreling forward with rhetoric critics described as fear-mongering.
The Democrats want caravans. They like the caravans.
They'll be like, look, 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 caravan, caravan. Then they're giving tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
Still, the partisanship paused to honor the end of an era. President George Herbert Walker Bush laid to rest.
In our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
His service attended by every living president, including Donald Trump, who did not attend Senator John McCain's funeral.
The America of John McCain has no need to be made great again, because America was always great.
Anti-Trump rhetoric, part of the momentum behind a blue wave that crashed over the Capitol as Democrats dominated the House.
Majority, majority, majority.
And while the GOP held the Senate,
it is indeed a good morning for Senate Republicans.
Democrats looked toward 2020 and rising stars like Beto O'Rourke, who lost his Senate race but won over many in his party.
So f***ing proud of you guys.
The president now facing divided government at home and overseas, a new world order as he brushed off allies and embraced adversaries in 2018. In Singapore, that historic summit with Kim Jong-un.
We fell in love.
In Helsinki, a head-to-head with Vladimir Putin, where the president seemed swayed by Moscow's denials of election interference.
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
He later walked that back, but moved forward with other campaign promises, like shifting the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem and withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal. His handling of the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi at the hands of the Saudis widely condemned.
There's not a smoking gun, there's a smoking saw.
The landscape shifting not just internationally, but for women here at home. From Me Too,
The time is up,
to the midterms.
Today is a milestone, but it is really a beginning.
And a record number of women elected. The first Native American women headed to Congress, the first Muslim women, the first female senators from Arizona and Tennessee.
It is a conservative woman too.
Back at the White House, infighting and upheaval. Defense Secretary James Mattis raising alarm after he resigned in protest over differences with Donald Trump's worldview.
4 officials telling NBC News they have witnessed Kelly calling the president an idiot behind his back.
Rex Tillerson fired by tweet. H.R. McMaster shown the door. Others resigning after ethics investigations, with the backbiting chronicled by former insiders.
Donald Trump is a con.
And journalists.
There's a war on truth.
And still looming over Capitol Hill and the White House, the Russia investigation, consuming both ends of Pennsylvania Avenue.
Paul Manafort has been convicted of 8 felonies.
Michael Cohen sentenced to 36 months.
5 former members of Donald Trump's orbit convicted or pleading guilty to crimes related to the special counsel investigation as embattled Attorney General Jeff Sessions stepped down.
It's a disgraceful situation. It's a total witch hunt.
He may be the first president in quite some time to face the real prospect of jail time.
Still, the biggest political story of the year wasn't Donald Trump in trouble, but President Trump triumphant as Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed to the Supreme Court after an emotional and explosive confirmation hearing.
I believed he was going to rape me.
Christine Blasey Ford accusing Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her when they were teens.
With what degree of certainty do you believe Brett Kavanaugh assaulted you?
100%.
But I have never done this. This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit.
Ultimately, the Senate voted him in.
Brett Kavanaugh is now Justice Kavanaugh.
Make no mistake about it, tonight is a major political win for this president.
From the lower courts, where Republicans are reshaping the federal judiciary, to the highest, a conservative shift that will affect a generation of Americans for decades to come. 2018, a year for the history books, with 2019, a new chapter ahead. Hallie Jackson, NBC News, Washington.
Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Why don't you subscribe? It's really easy. Just click on that button down there. And for more news from MSNBC, click on any of these videos here for the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more videos from MSNBC with our newsletters. Head over to msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up.